Okay, this is my studio, which I'm planning on to redo. It's going to be, this is just the control room. Because there's a lot of stuff in here because I haven't put anything away. Uh, this desk is going, replacing it with an Argosy Avid Artist Desk. And one of my guitars, which is hanging up over here, cases. And then back over here is where all the players play. That's in here, keyboards, don't forget about the guitars, keyboard, guitars, there you go. That's going away, and my kit, which basically is hooked up to a software plugin, BFD Drums, which works really well. Also using the Logic kits as well, so we'll see what it's going to look like after I'm done. And over in the corner there, forgot about that, is the vocal booth. So we'll see what it looks like in my next video. And I may show myself putting it together in, just about finished putting it back together. The monitor's going to go in the middle there. The surface control surface rather, is Euphoric's, Euphoric's Avid Artist series. We have 24 channels that are readily to mix, but we can swap those out because they're bigger than 24. We have a 4-channel bus, which is a lot easier while working in Logic. We have transport, and we have artist controller. And well, we'll be firing it up a little bit later, and then leave your comments. Quite a few pieces of called Legacy. And I just basically followed the default because that one seemed much worked pretty well. So I didn't mess with that. Now the hi-hat, that was let me go back to that one. The hi-hat, that was a little bit of a thing. If you notice, I got rid of the down below 100.
Exactly where you can't
You're not gonna hear anything on there. And then I got that there was a little teeny anomaly in there from the hi-hat. Got rid of that because that little piece can be basically rob the mix. You know, as far as that frequency goes. And then other things, just little dips and so forth. And that was it. All right. One thing that we did was that we took the best of both worlds. We took the the staple as far as using a digital audio workstation, which is DAW, like using Logic X. We also wanted to, as far as for process flow or workflow, we wanted to basically be able to go with what we're familiar with, which is basically so we use a real control surface, and one that I found that works very well is the Advent Artist Mix, because one, you can lock per project up to 24 tracks loaded through here, but then you also have additional 4 if you want, or you can use it as a bus. And down on that end right there, we also have, as far as a transport, and that's really for like film editing, scoring a film or whatever to that effect. And
that would be me.
Which is pretty cool. But now the other part of that too is that because you're using the sliders, you can basically you can do it in real time to record the feel of moving them over versus using a mouse, because with this you can move more than one equalization as far as your mix goes, the EQ your mix and everything, as far as the how high or you want a particular volume on whatever track, and then basically your panning and so forth is right there on the fly, so you can actually do it a lot faster than using some of the people that use the traditional mouse and keyboard. This is a lot faster and everything. Now one of the other things too is that because we're old school, we still have quite a few pieces of called legacy analog hardware, such as the RM50, an old drum machine. Not going to get rid of it, but it's just a rack mount of the RY30, the TG55, also Yamaha. Like I said, certain things you don't want to get rid of because you want a certain sound. You don't have to go looking for it. You can find it right there. The TG77 just as well. We did that, and then We link everything together with this Motu MIDI Express, and that's like an 8-port patch bay, MIDI patch bay, which is pretty cool and everything. And then we go over to the right. We have a couple of things. I'm going to start from the bottom. We have our audio interface, which is basically the 828, which is basically the brainchild for your audio. But we also through the ADAT ports out of the Focusrite mic preamp, we have 2 in the front and 8 in the back. And so these are basically handling our microphones. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 microphones, 2 in the front and 4 in the back. And the other 2 we use for basically if someone has a low-end guitar that needs phantom power, it's available. And basically everything is patched through the wall there, which is basically the audio patch bay, which goes into the other room, which we'll go into in a moment. But now the other part that we also did with that is that we have, as far as for headphone mixing, we can mix for each particular end user inside this room. We have up to 6 outs. They can go out 2 into the vocal booth and the other 4 into the recording room. So basically we can, that's go a godsend. And then we basically have 2, I really don't really use them that much, but because of the advent of the DAW, is effects processors such as the Yamaha XPX 1000, which I mainly use if I want to basically give an old school funk style bass with a bit of phase into it. I'll use XPX 1000. It's really quick to get. Then also I have the Digitech, the Digitech harmonizer, which will probably be going away because I'm looking to invest in the Nectar 2, which basically does an excellent job of harmonizing, pitch correction, and so forth. Not auto tunes, because don't want to use that here, but where needed to tweak if a person is like slightly off, we can correct that within their vocal track, which is pretty good.
That's the Isotope plugin.
Yep. Okay, and here we have the what are these? Are Yamaha's
HS80Ms.
Yeah, HS80Ms. Yeah, sorry, thanks, Doug. And these are really good. They are really clean as far as when you have a EQ properly, you can get rid of artifacts really clean, and you can hear the separation for each instrument, where giving each instrument its own space during the treating of the track for the mix. So
right. I also have these in my studio, and what I really like about them is that the low end is not muddy at all. It's very clear.
Yeah. Then we're going to head this way into what I call the recording area. We're going this way. We're going to start on this side. Now, here we have the HS50s. These I use in here just for playback. They're smaller than the 80s, and they're still Yamahas, and these are pretty good for any server that purpose and so forth. And that's patched into this room through the Motu 828. So that's pretty good. Then we have our kit here, which is a Roland
TD6B.
Yep, and it's just basically, I won't call it, it's a drum controller. That's what I'm going to label it as, because what we just use it for is to drive general MIDI drums, and also we have a plugin called BFD drums, which we buy expansion. I think it's expansion.
Right, F expansion.
F expansion, so which we use to actually get realistic drums, so forth, instead of using electronic drum, which is like I said, BFD. It's a pretty good product, pretty good plugin. And then back over here, which I'm going to talk about my guitars in a moment, we have use it mostly as a controller. Wouldn't get rid of it for the world. It's Kurzweil PC88. I like it because it's weighted keys, give you the feel of acoustic piano because of the keys are weighted. They did an excellent job on that. It's roughly about, this is over 20 years old. It's over a 20-year-old keyboard, but I would not give it up for the world. And then
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go. And then my babies here. We'll start here. We got the Fender Acoustic. We actually used this on Simply Chilled. It was basically played the bass melody on that particular track. Then we have, I'm gonna say a hidden jewel, and it's called a Riverhead brand by Headway, which is they still exist, but not how they did in the 80s. These particular basses were made in Japan, and they basically were to compete with Fender. And this one is close to the Music Man, as close as you're gonna get. This particular model here, which is to the left a little bit. I bought another one, but I had it custom to have a burst finish. So it's basically gray and black with a burst finish, and plays just as well. And then we have another staple, a Fender American Strat. I believe this one is a 2007, I believe, model. It's if you're gonna, for me, for a rhythm guitar, it's one of the best rhythm guitars out there.
We also use this for the picking guitar track on Simply Chill.
Yep. And then this is new to my edition, which I bought.
and the hook.
And the hook, definitely. And this is new to my edition. It's a Spectre bass. I actually found it on Facebook. A guy was selling it. It's not highly impressed by it. You know, I mean, I've heard that Spectres are really good, so I would check it out. But you know, I'm gonna keep it for now. Might have the sound or tone that I'm looking for any particular track we may be working on. And then the last two of the studio, coming back this way. And these are, I bought these in the early 2000s. I bought these. These are Ibanez 4-string, really good bass. Actually used it on our previous project, What Love Is, and also the 5-string Ibanez. Also used that on our previous project of What Love Is. This one in particular has a nice tone, rich tone, for a 5-string. It's close to a 5-string jazz bass as you're gonna get. It has 2 humbucking pickups. Let me take that back. These are, make sure I not tell a story here, ADX5 pickups, which are not humbucking, but they work pretty well and everything. Multiple band EQ, vari mid, and so forth. These are pretty good. And that's the spot here for AfterSix Productions.